All right, we good? Recording?
Feels good.
I grew up in East Africa, where I just had a great childhood, building tree forts with my friend Moravi, hearing elephants roam in the forest behind our house at night, playing soccer and just hanging out with my good friends. At the same time, I really knew very clearly that many of my closest friends lived in very intense poverty, extremely challenging circumstances that I didn't personally have to deal with. After college, my wife Lauren and I, we moved to Tanzania to try to be a part of the solution. There's so many stories from that time, and one of those is about my friend Bakari. He lost a child simply due to dehydration because he didn't have $20 in his pocket that would have bought an IV at a local clinic. His child passed away. And I wish I could have known in time to buy that IV for him. I also know in the long term that what about next time and the next time, and when I'm not around? What about the millions of people who don't have access to someone who can give them $20? So we started helping people start businesses, small, simple, scrappy, humble businesses that would enable them to put money in their own pockets to be able to provide for their own families year after year after year. It's the same things that my friends who I grew up with in Kenya, it enabled them to go from no shoes and no health care to owning a car and building a home and changing their family tree forever. Since our time in Tanzania, we've just learned so much. Through that learning, we're able to launch Flint Global. Flint Global exists because we care about the poorest people on the planet, the poorest people you can imagine. We care about mothers who don't know how they're going to feed their children tonight. We care about children who don't have any parents and are trying to figure out how they're going to provide for themselves to meet their most basic needs. That's tens of thousands of real people, real families with real stories. People like the many people we have always worked with. People like Norman, who through our program was able to get a job while still living in an orphan home, so that when he ages out of that home, he is able to provide for himself. He can build a life and build a family. People like a family of 11 in Rwanda that Venust, our program leader there, worked with. This family had been living all together crammed in a one-bedroom house, but now they live in a 4-bedroom house because they were able to quadruple their agricultural output. We're talking about people like Joyce, who was able to launch a business that doubled her income, and as a result she's able to put those kids in school, to have health care, to have food on the table, and build not just a business but a new future for her entire family. Last year, our team, our staff in the US, our program leaders around the world, our donors, together we impacted 18,000 people. We have built an amazing global team that has more than 100 combined years living in the places where we work. We have learned what it takes to really build that ladder for people to climb out of that pit of poverty. We know that it has to include mindset, access, and skills. And if either of these is missing, then there's a gap that keeps people from getting where they need to be. We specialize in addressing these areas in partnership with local leaders, providing training and coaching, walking alongside people as they build businesses, gain employment, gain the personal and professional skills they need to flourish, build a life, build families, transform communities. We all have our stories that have brought us to where we are today. And I think for all of us, those stories involve the people who came into our lives, who taught us things, who gave us opportunities, who were willing to be steps in our own ladder, in our own journey. So we are looking for a community of ladder builders. If that gets you excited, then you are our people. You are a part of this team, people who can work together to change the lives of countless families around the world forever. Let's help 500,000 people climb that ladder out of poverty together.